The anthem was longer in those days because we sang the Slovak part too. The 3 custom officers present stood at attention and saluted. Then we returned to Prague. Prague was so beautiful. We were given bread and salt and were welcomed. For the first, and I think last time in Czech history, the crowd chanted, "Long live the Jews! Hurrah!" Then a huge photograph appeared in the papers of Jan Masaryk stepping off an airplane and saying, "I was invited to Russia as the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I'm returning as a Russian serf." We knew that it was time to leave. That same autumn, we applied for emigration. It was 1947. Years later, I got a fantastic offer from the University of Texas in Galveston, and eventually, I became a full professor. Sometimes, high schools would ask me to talk to their students about the Holocaust. It was something completely new. Nobody ever had done it before. The children had absolutely no idea what I was talking about. They never learned anything about it in their classes. 60% of them were black. I was standing on a small platform and started to talk about genocide, for example. They had no idea what it was all about and just kept on talking among themselves. But within 5 minutes, there was complete silence. You could hear a pin drop. I would speak for almost an hour. Usually, when you're a success, the audience remains quiet. Half a minute or even a minute goes by and you think, "My God, I must have failed." And then suddenly, the reaction comes.
Bože, to jsem to musel zvorat na plný pecky a pak najednou přijde ta reakce. A pak se tam nashromáždilo asi tak nějakých 8-9 děvčat.
Some 8 or 9 girls gathered round me, and one of them asked, "Sir, could you show me the number on your forearm?" And I said, "Oh, certainly, here you are."
A ona se nad tím sklonila a dala tomu číslu pusu.
And she bent over the number and kissed it. It really moved me, so I hugged her. They all gathered round me, and each one wanted to be hugged. A man can forgive. I did forgive because when I worked in general practice, the young German immigrants would just stream to me. The number on my forearm drew them to me in an interesting way. Their conscience drew them. I also worked in obstetrics at the time and delivered some 300 German children. And I had many German patients when I specialized in psychiatry. I found them to be extremely polite and quite innocent people. So I think that I managed to forgive. To forget, well, that's completely different. We gather here every year for my birthday. At the end of the party, the people who were with me in the concentration camp always join together. 4 or 5 years ago, there were still 7 of us. And this guy always says, "Look, Adolf, you didn't get us." and we all applaud as though after a good performance.
It was up and down, but it was beautiful. We're both getting older. We have to face it. We are two old people, and we are happy together. We're the happiest of couples. We enjoy being together.
Sometimes I suspect that God is laughing at us most of the time. If that were the case, I would have to admit that God exists. One of our good friends is an astrophysicist. Now they've launched the Hubble telescope. When they finally straightened it out, 3 of our physicist friends were ecstatic. On Wednesdays, they usually were at our place playing bridge. They said, "Look at the universe. It's unimaginable. The size of it. Maybe there are several universes. Those black holes are fantastic." They were talking in these fanciful terms, saying that at first they thought before the Big Bang the universe had been as small as a pellet, but now they think it's more likely the size of a ball. I said, "A ball? Like a football?" "Don't be absurd," they replied. "In the universe, everything is turning and rotating. It's round, like a soccer ball." A soccer ball? And who kicked it in? That's where I believe in God.